Shalom, I want to start giving all praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Rakah, Kadah, respect to your apostles and up becoming apostles, teachers, to preach and teach this gospel of truth. This is for the elect of Israel first and foremost. And we always start giving all praises to the Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Okay? Not man. Not the goddess, the woman goddess, or anything like that. All praise is due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Okay? I came upon, it might be old to some other people, but it's new to me. And I came upon this book. I watched this guy sometime called High Frequency Yusuf, and he give good information. And I watch him and watch a couple of other brothers, other things that I like to look into when I'm not doing my first love, which is kissing the sun and giving out these scriptures and teaching what I know, what I only know. I don't try to go too high, just teach what I know. And that's what this gospel is about. It's teaching what you know, not putting it under the napkin, but sharing it to others, because this is a awakening, and this is saving lives. So we back into the business of saving lives. But we all know during the walk of saving lives, we're going to have enemies within our own household, friends, mockers, okay, gossipers, backbiters. This is part of the game. Okay, so we know that too. All right, so we prepare for that. Okay. I guess I'll show you. I want to, you know what? Let me start with this first scripture first before we go into anything, the opening, because I want to go into the book. Here we go. Let's go to Matthew 10:22. Yep. And it's so strange. I mean, when you read these things, the Bible quotes, and especially when it's coming from Yahweh and red, sometimes it don't really hit you. But when you actually go through it, you understand it better. You experience it. And those words come more alive to you. This is Matthew 10:22. And it reads, "And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endure to the end shall be saved." Well, let me give you a run by that. I was working, I had this little job I was doing, and there's people that look just like me, that are me, that is me from the islands or whatever like that. It was like all going against so-called American blacks. I lie not. I mean, I'm like, damn, Lord, like, why you got me walking into these places like that? But of course, if you need work, you go around, you do what you got to do, right? To a certain extent. I don't talk on the job about this gospel. I don't mix this with my work, you know. But when I'm out on the field, on the front line, or I'm just doing videos, whatever that gospel say, I'm going to say. Whatever that gospel tells me to do, I'm going to do. I mean, it's not like I don't try to keep the commandments, whether I'm not in the speaking the Bible. I try to live it, talk it, and live it. Talk it, walk it, and live it at the same time. But the reason why I'm saying this is because these brothers was against each other, against us. They wasn't. It was mostly foreigners, which was our brothers. I don't like to know if that's the right word for them, but they are brothers or whatever like that. But they're not a brother, you know, because they see another guy from another country, man, or from another place, man. You keep everybody quick to say, "Oh, yo, we old brothers," but that shit is bullshit, man. When niggas start getting around their own kind or whatever like that, unless they know you for a little bit, they might accept you for a little while, but it's all about them, and you shouldn't be ignorant to that matter. You know, everybody talking about this whole big melting pot. We all working together. That's bullshit, man. Every man for itself. And you people don't understand that until the shit hits you. And especially so-called the Native Americans and so-called black man, the Hispanic, they gonna see, man. These niggas don't care nothing about you. All right, they'll see, and I'm like, when I go to certain places, right? I barely got enough money. You know how how much groceries is today? We barely got enough money to buy our own damn groceries. And they asking, do you want to fund the matters of Ukraine? You want to fund the matter of Israel? You want to fund all these different matters? But I'm hardly eating my damn self. And they slick it in through like when you go to the drive-thrus and you get maybe a fast food real quick. Okay. They said, do you want to donate for this? Do you want to donate to that? And a lot of the time, that money is not going to that. But here's my thing. Why are you not worried about your own people? I mean, I feel so bad about people, wherever else they're going through, their children going through. We feel bad. That's things that's happening, what's going on over there. But the so-called black man been going through war since the day he been here. The so-called black man been going through war since the first day he been here. That's brung over here in cargo ships. He's been persecuted from day one. That is a mental war that we're fighting. That's a mental war that we're fighting. So what does it say? And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endure to the end shall be saved. Right? Because you be tired, man. When you come into this knowledge and you understand certain things, you be like, damn, man. And everybody else don't get around it. Everybody else, I'm sorry, twist the word. Everybody else around you don't understand this walk. Man, this walk right here is so tough and so rugged. Is that you have beef with your own family because of the spirit of the world and what they do. We got Christianity, right? We got homosexuality. We got just hatred for your brother. And only thing I don't understand, the only remedy is this word, this Bible. The men come out here on the highways and byways. We give you edification. We edify you. We hope we edify you with these videos to give you knowledge and understanding of what's going on. How that we got to come together to overcome. We have to come together to overcome. And the first plan or first execution of bringing this plan together is what? Is this word, this Bible. This Bible don't harm nobody. This Bible up and elevates. And guess what? It's talking about you. This affair in this Bible is giving future prophecies about what's happening to the other nations, but it's also giving you, waking you up that the Messiah looks like you. and that you are the salt of the earth. Okay? You are the salt of the earth. And that's why that 12 tribe sign chart was a beautiful thing, because it was bringing us together. It was showing us who we are, even though we were calling ourselves different. Who labeled us that? Who gave us different, telling us you're different from them, you're different from them, when we're one whole family. We're not their family, but we're one whole family. That's on that chart. And we are taught that we're from a different place and we're different people, but we are the same people. For instance, I got friends that's Puerto Ricans, right? And through the spirit, you see so-called Puerto Ricans, Taino Indians. When we get together, man, it's a woman, her daughter, a couple of sons. When we get together, we have a good time. All right. Um, it might not be the same. They might not believe. We go again. We go. Um, we touch upon some of the religion, some of the things in the Bible, but they don't understand that. So like they understand that, but to certain things, like what Paul says, we give them a little bit out of a time. Stay away from idols, the sacrifice, those stuff. We give them that first, okay? But hopefully through our works, they'll come fully across. But through the vibe and through the spirit, they are just they are our people, okay? You ever see so-called Mexicans and so-called um, Salvadorians, which is probably they're around that Mexicans, all right, somewhere near that, right? If you really, some are prejudice, we prejudice against them too, but we are the same people. But if you see, when we all get together, we rock, we got that same kind of vibe. But somebody told us that we were different. And that's my quote, and I got a common law copyright, so don't steal my sling. No separation, no no separation by manipulation. No separation by manipulation. Okay? Let me go to Isaiah 31 and 8. So I got this book I want to go over, and how we're doing our job, and society's beating us up on it, and even our own family members. That's how you know that these are not true Christians, and they are an enemy of you. And we can't be blind to this. All right. Where is it at? Isaiah. Now why am I bugging out? Isaiah, there you go. 31:18. Isaiah 31 and 18. Hmm. What that was, Isaiah. That must be the wrong one. Anyway, my bad. That's not the right one. Okay, I don't know where that was at. What scripture that was. Yeah. But we're gonna go into this book that I came across, and then we're gonna read scriptures. Because another thing about this, they think that we are anti. First of all, let me just state this fact for the last time: I am not anti-Semitic. I am not a racist. I am not. I'm just telling my story and this is my affidavit. Okay, this is my affidavit of truth. So how could you, or how come somebody else tell you where you stand at? Because they don't like it, the truth. It is your truth. And I never give something on how I feel or what I think. And that's why I have enemies. And they don't want to hear that. I give everything that's facts, research, documented, evidence. And the people don't want to hear this truth. They don't want to hear this truth, man. You've become an enemy because you tell them the truth. Now look at this. I want to meditate on this. This is called the White Man's Bible. Hold on. This is literally a book called that. Yeah, White Man's Bible. I don't know why I went all the way to this. Okay, give me a second. I want to show you this. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I don't know how you do this. Alright. Start from the beginning. There you go, right here. This is it. The White Man's Bible, right? By Ben Klassenman. Okay? So now, I want to give you 2 illustrations. Here it is on 29. Okay, it says, who needs niggers or elimination of the Black Plague? Okay, let's just read some of this. Who needs niggers or elimination of the Black Plague? Look at this. During the Middle Ages, Europe was swept again by the ravages of Black Plague. Let me get to the point. Let's start with this. Niggers are niggers. They say we use the term nigger deliberately in the book and recommend its uses in general conversation and writings by the members of our church. As we have stated in a previous chapter, the second dumbest creature on the face of the earth is one who can't or won't recognize its enemies. You see that? And I'm going to use that for us because we can't recognize our enemies. We sitting here talking about everything is everything, joining hands in hands, when you got people these other nations is not your friends. And the Bible's telling you that. And this man is telling you that. But y'all niggas want to be friends with everybody. Recognize its enemies. And the dumbest of all is the creature which will actively collaborate with its enemies for the destruction of his own race. Oh my God. Do you see this? Do you see this? I gotta read that again. Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Niggers are niggers. We use the term nigger deliberately deliberately in this book and recommend its usage in general conversation and writings by the members of the church. As we have stated in a previous chapter, the second dumbest creature on the face of the earth is one who can't or won't recognize its enemies. Oh my God. And the enemies. And the dumbest of all is that creature which will actively collaborate with its enemies for the destruction of its own race. That's crazy, man. And we tell you that you got enemies. See that? The Bible tells you that. It says, now one of the things I wanted to mention on this, church had a lot of benefits back in the days. And church was used for multi purposes. Church didn't always mean that people coming together serving um, who they English call Jesus Christ. Now we did have a place, the tabernacle, where we come and we worship, who we worship the true Mashiach, Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, right? We served him with a full heart, right? But also a church was a place for a gathering for the benefit of your people. So here's my question. What I don't understand, what I'm trying to get, okay, and I'm talking about the circumcision of the people that know that they're Israelites, and we out there on the highway and byway, and we doing the duty, and we sworn the oath to keep this walk for the Most High, right? And through His Son. When we're taking care and giving our donations and our tithes and our alms to keep the church going together, right? Keep that body going together. That money wasn't just for you. It was for the community or the people that was in that church or in that organization. That's why you heard of a PMA, Private Member Association, Faith-Based Private Member Association. Okay, that's how you have certain groups like fraternities. They had a certain group that all these members pay dues to get into for the benefit of all their members. That's all this is. That's all this is. So the church is your family member coming together with one cause to make their family better. In this case, we're talking about the nation of Israel all over, supposed to be coming together, but we're not yet because we got different curriculums that we disagree with. Okay, and Yahweh said that was going to be that way until He come back. It was going to be different sects. Okay, but what are you doing for your brothers when they giving you these tithes and donations, and you living okay? But what are they? And they have, and then you tell the brothers to get a job, to keep a job, which is true. But if they're having this and they're doing these things, and then they come, because I noticed this when I just first started opening up the thing about the jobs, about the farming that was there. And let's say all the people banned us because they find out that we're Israelites, right? They banned us from the job, they banned us from everything, right? What do we have to keep these young men to get work? If we're preaching Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah all day and every day, right? And then the people say, oh, they're anti-Semitic. And they this. And even though that's not true, is that church is responsible. I'm going to say it again. That church is responsible for to look after those young men and those families. I'm not talking about $30 or $50. I'm talking about putting them up. You've ate deliciously for doing the Lord's work. But one of the things is, if you eat deliciously, those brothers are supposed to be taken care of too. That's my question. But back to the program. It says, deadly enemies. We of the church of the Creator recognize the niggers as the foremost amongst our deadliest enemies. With the Jews taking top priority, we regard all the colored races as a grave of menace to our further existence on this planet, whether they be black, yellow, or brown. In some mutation, we will use the term mud races in contrast to the white race throughout this book. So that's going to be the key word that they're going to use. The whole collection of Chinese, Japanese, Jews, Polynesians, Magalhães, Mexicans, Indians, niggers, and whatever are distinctly non-white and are therefore regulated to that collection known as the mud races of the world. Nature has made them eternally our moral enemies. Whether we realize it or not, it is race accurately aware of this fact and arose into action. It says, look at this. It says, bottom of the ladder. Among all the races, the black niggers of Africa are undoubtedly at the lowest scale of the ladder, dubiously called the human race. We of the Church of the Creator disclaim any common racial denominator with the niggers, the same as we do regarding monkeys. We regard them as either subhuman or humanoid and recognize them as being closer to the animal kingdom than any species of humanity as exemplified by the white race. We firmly vow to deliberately excrete them from the body of the white racial community and to forever prevent and penetration and a mixture with the racial body. Any any society that fails to excrete its waste soon dies. Look at that. To use niggers are black poison, and we regard the Jewish goal of pumping the black blood of Africa into the veins of white America as the most heinous and dastardly crime ever committed in all history. Hostility, 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 contempt, and derision. One of the first steps in guarding our race, such as catastrophic abomination, is to have the correct attitude towards the niggers. Webster Dictionary defines niggers as a vulgar offensive term of hostility and contempt for the black man. Very good. Look at this. We accept that. Oh, shoot. That is exactly how we feel about niggers, and it describes precisely what the white man's proper attitude should be towards these animals. Our attitude towards niggers at all times must be one of hostility, contempt, and derision. We must think in terms of to hell with the niggers, to hell with the Jews. Utter savage. As we have said, the black African represents the lowest scale of the human ladder. If he can be included in the human group at all, we of the Church of the Creator believe he does not deserve the human classification, and for good reason. Throughout recorded history over the last 6,000 years, the African has invented nothing. He has not even so much as invented the wheel, although he had ample opportunity to copy it from the white Egyptians thousands of years ago. He has never learned to weave clothes, although that too he could have learned thousands of years ago from the white Egyptians. He has never domesticated a single animal. His only method of transporting goods has been hard, berry head as means of cartage. He has never progressed beyond the common mud hut as a means of shelter, the construction of which is barely beyond that being built by beavers or muskrats. Look at this. He has never produced a written language. Practically, the only trade he has ever indulged in the trading of ivory, beads, and slaves. In other words, the sale and trading of his own kinsmen. Niggas and mongrel. The black African is shiftless, lazy, and dumb. He is completely ignorant of the concept of responsibility and is prone to crime and violence. The average pure black African nigga has an IQ about 40 points lower than the average white. This puts his average well below the moron line. Look at that. The American nigger, however, is a mongrel or mulatto, the most despicable of all mud races, having assimilated a large percentage of white genes. These mongrels have somewhat higher IQ, or about 80, thanks to their white genes. This puts these mongrels just on the borderline of the moron classification with about half of them below and half above, depending on the amount of their white genes. You can keep reading more of this, but this is a book on that. All right. It says niggas the tools, organizing the right race. We of the Church of the Creator are determined to organize the awesome power of the white race and make the world forever secure against the mongolization and destruction of the white race. Niggas are the tools. The dangerous role the niggas play in this triangle is that they are the means by which the Jews plan to destroy the white race. Since the Jew is a parasite, he does not want to completely eradicate the productive white race and thereby destroy his goose that keeps laying the golden eggs. He wants to proliferate the niggas almost the white race, to promote race mixing, intermarriage, and finally the mongrelization of the white race into a brown mulatto, dumb and subservient, but more capable and productive than a black African nigger. That way, the Jew will still have the best of both races, dumb subserviences and productivity for his own ends. So I bring this to you and this other or more. You can read this book, and we're supposed to study the way they think. And you're supposed to know if they think like this is not just him thinking, this is a lot of them thinking like that. I told you before, I had my wife, man, she was sick with cancer years ago, supposed to die. She had this friend, and before we was knowing the truth, this was many, 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 many years ago. This was a lady named Elsa, supposed to be a good friend and everything like that. We didn't let him in to see what else around us in because we trying to get things together, you know. And I think my wife has. I think she co-signed for my wife for a car, right? And I think that at the end I think we had three more payments, right? And she was willing to take the car back after three more payments. And that's the beast in them. That's the beast in them. And everybody that see, we want to be friends with everybody. Everybody is not your friend, man. And that's what you're saying. You loving everybody but your own people. I've seen it. I've seen it. And we got more of this. I ain't gonna read it though. Yeah, I ain't gonna read it. It's crazy. So that's what I'm saying. We gotta understand what we going through, and we gotta understand what is that. Um, this is Psalms. That was Jeremiah. It says Psalms. Psalms. Uh, 83. This is stuck on that. Psalms 83. Come on, man. Here it is, Psalms 83. And it says, "For lo, thy enemies," and this is a song, this is a prayer, okay? A song of song is that, "Keep not thy silence, O Most High, hold not thy peace, and be not still. For lo, thy enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty, that book we read, these is what they think. They're taking crafty counsel. You don't have to believe it. They have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. And the Lord names them. They have said, Come and let us cut them off, cut them off, cut them off for being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more a remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, you see that? And the Israelites of Moab and the Hagarenes. Now, that's the so-called Arabs, the Chinamen, so-called Africans, Gebo, Amen, I believe the Japanese. Amalek is the modern day chief, is the Jews. I think they're the grandson of Esau. Okay? But they're a special kind. So, I mean, come on, man. We got to pay attention. Okay? You have to start loving everybody else and start loving yourself. When we come out here and we tell you these things, this ain't no gang thing, man. And this ain't no race thing. Why has it always got to be a race thing when we looking up documentary, documented evidence to tell you what's going on? This ain't something that we pulled out. These are articles and evidence. And you still think it's a problem, right? He's smooth as butter. So we have to understand what's going on. And it seems like, I mean, logical. Everybody keep throwing that shit out, excuse my language, about we all one, we work together. But do you think, okay, that if it was a fire in the house and it was a different race, and let's say it was a so-called Palestinian race, right? You think he gonna run and get your family first, or he gonna run and get his? Y'all niggas don't think logical. When we doing business, we being polite, we being courtesy. That's regular common law sense. Treat other people good like that. That's regular. Treat all men, be peaceful with all men as possible. But when it comes to loving your race first, that's what it's supposed to be. It's nothing racial about that. It's nothing racist about that. It's nothing anti-Semitic about that. Because if it was, Jews wouldn't have their own country, right? Or their own community. China wouldn't have its own community. Little Italy wouldn't have not its own community. So how is this anti-Semitic and how is this racist? It's only anti-Semitic and racist when you come together. Why? Because you are the apple of the Lord's eye. You what counts on the earth. You are the salt. You what counts. We gotta see what these niggas is doing to keep our necks foots on their neck so they can't prosper. This is how a lot of them feel about you. Right? And I'm gonna be dissecting this book and giving more information. But we are the watchmen according to Ezekiel, and this is what we're supposed to do. Supposed to tell you current events, evidence, not stuff that we making up out of our heart. Because if we see any Israelite that's making up stuff out of his heart or making a hypothesis guess on something that he have no evidence on, we ought not to speak on that. We ought not to speak on that. We only speaking on things that we actually know through archaeological evidence, current events, research, all of these things to bring this to you. You think somebody just woke up and say, "Oh, I'm the Jews that the Bible speak of"? You think somebody that's just came out to say, "Oh, Yahweh, who you can call Jesus Christ, is a black"? We have evidence. The Bible gives you that evidence of that. But why is it such of a problem? When you see so-called black and Native American people coming together for a common cause, it's always somebody trying to interrupt that. Wasn't that in the day? Who did that? What was that? And that goes back. This has been happening from the beginning. It goes all the way back to what's that thing? The part in the Bible when it just says when they went to build the temple, and they said you have nothing to do with that. Was that Ezra or Esther? I think it was Ezra. Well, somewhere in the Bible when they went to start building the temple again, and the other nations said, "We will help you," and then they said, "You have nothing to do with building this temple. This is our thing." But see, when people can't be a part of it, it's a problem. Let us build our community. Let us build our stuff through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Let us build ourselves up with this truth first in our hearts, and then come together before Yahweh Shah come back, or come together and get ourselves together with the brotherly love, for when Yahweh shall come back, we'll be good in his eyes and he can give us that crown, that prize. Because you're not going nowhere. You're not going to be saved. You're not going to be blessed. Nothing is going right for you if you don't love your brother. But hold on. Loving your brother don't mean being an ignorant fool. Because you got some brothers that are brothers, but they brothers, but not according to the faith. They brothers by the flesh, but not according to the faith, because they're not walking after Yahweh through the faith. They're brothers by lineage or the bloodline. But when it comes to being a true brother, is those that are walking by the Lord's statutes and commandments and having faith in Yahweh. That's a true brother, because he living like you living. He walking like you walking. Let me go to this last one. What is this? 1 John 3 and 15. First John 3 and 15. Whosoever hate his brother is a murderer, and you know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him. What does that mean? You brothers, a lot of the people that mock us is our own brothers and sisters. And it's not because they don't think this is true. It's because they ain't ready to give up their unholy, clean life. They're ready to continuously use drugs, continuously be an adulterer, continuously to do unruly and vain, vile things. And that's why they don't like you. Nobody likes a person who reminds themselves what they should be doing. Say it again. Nobody likes a person who reminds them of what they should be doing because they're feeling guilty by their own actions, the things that they're doing. So you become an enemy. Oh, so that's why they be cowards and say, "You judging me? You can't judge. You be judged." That don't go like that, man. That don't go like that. A drug dealer does not want to stop selling drugs when you remind him because he's loving that money. He ain't trying to hear what you saying. Stick up kid don't want to hear nothing you saying. He getting that money quick. Robbing somebody, tying them up, it's easy money, and this is what he's into. And he got a passion for it. And here you come and talking junk, talking about, yo, change your life. Man, that's not right. They don't want to hear that. So you become an enemy because you remind them, or they think, oh, that's where they come in and say, you too good. You too good. That brother perfect. Yeah, I am perfect in following the instructions of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, who you're going to call Christ. I'm perfect in that. Because niggas has come together in perfect evilness to do wickedness. Perfect evilness to do wickedness. But you can't get them to come together for brotherly love to do good. I seen brothers that lived in the same house and we were all struggling. Not one of them come up with an idea to get out of this house and let's buy this home and let's get something, let's buy something together because we got a little break. But they'll come together to get some hoes, big booty girls. They'll come together to get some drugs in them. They'll come together with all that. But they won't come together for an idea, a great idea to put them in a better situation. And the first situations I'm talking about, serving the Creator. What's his name? Yahweh. What's his son name? Yahweh Shah. Yahweh means breath, life. Your breath, those commandments. That makes you a different kind of man. You built different. You built better than the rest. All praises due to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah.